And welcome back to Lantern Corps. Today's Lantern Corps comes to us from Shadows82, who asked the question, what is the Lantern Corps of Raymond Reddington from The Blacklist? A series my girlfriend loves. She's been getting me to try to watch it for a while. I'm just been like, sure, we can watch it. Just other things get ahead, come and go, and then we're watching one thing, then it's crazy. So at some point I'll watch The Blacklist. I hear good things about The Blacklist, and I'm a big James Spader fan, so I do like James Spader, but I am aware of the series and am aware of the character. He's now, if I remember correctly, Raymond Reddington. He is a killer. In fact, I believe I don't know if he's a serial killer, but he's a highly how is the best way to describe him? The way the wiki describes him, at any rate. Raymond Reddington is job, false Raymond, black market broker. I mean, he's a master criminals thing, but I believe the idea is kind of like a Lucifer scenario where he's a consultant with a group of criminal agency, a law force agency. Meets and gives him a briefcase. States that confirm he's Raymond by matching fingerprint. Either way, he's a master criminal. It's a lot of cat and mouse. I know that's going on. He's described as being a very, what's the best way to put it here? A very highly intelligent, highly driven individual and with developed sociopathic tendencies. And beyond that, though, whatever else I've learned about him, I'll go into further depth with in the series or in the video. Okay. So real quick, let's get things out of the way right now. Gold doesn't work. Never been happy his entire life. White, he takes lives. He kills people. Doesn't work. Black, I hope doesn't work either. He's a pretty bleak guy. In some ways. I won't go so far as saying nihilistic, but definitely not hope. He's also not greedy in the traditional sense. He does have like a method. He has like codes of conduct. He has methodologies. He has ways of handling things, and he has, I guess, goals in mind that don't fit with greed. So, what then? What about shame, or I should say, ultraviolet, which is any negative emotion technically, but it's believed shame is the big one. He feels no shame for his actions, definitely. Negative emotions, maybe, but I wouldn't go with that either. So, right out the gate, as motivated and driven as he is, you gotta factor green in there. He's gone through a big tragedy in his life, a big issue with, I believe, the death of his family, to overcome something like that, it takes a great amount of willpower as well as overcoming a large amount of fear. So I would imagine Will would definitely be on the docket, but he's also a scary dude. I think fear has at least got to be considered. This is due to the fact that he has a well-known reputation. He is a killer. He will kill without remorse. He kind of just doesn't have any empathy for those he kills. So you got to kind of factor fear in there, just because he is someone who is well known with a reputation, and it scares people when they hear about him. I would not factor in. I would not say rage. I don't think rage really motivates him. I would not say love. Definitely doesn't. However, based on what we know of him, that when he kills someone, he does kind of. He does not believe he's a psychopath. In his eyes, what he's done in the criminal world is all an effect of the murder of his family. He turned his back on his country and career because somehow they were responsible for the elimination of his family. That said, where is it where I read? Oh, yeah. He himself, he displays no empathy when killing people, but instead covers it up with an affable facade to deceive his victims into lowering their guard so he can kill them or exploit them. He himself has stated that when he kills someone, he doesn't pretend to care how they feel. He shot, stabbed, and suffocated them without ever coddling them because it's disrespectful. But he does show extreme compassion and caring towards the character Elizabeth Keene, and is fiercely dedicated to protecting her, and will go to extreme lengths to make sure she's safe, while sparing a natural care for the members of his unit. He is polite and kind and caring towards people that he is known for an extended period of time, with an affable persona always on display. He is nothing if not a man of his word, and will always keep his promise. He vowed he would protect a character's daughter, and he dedicated his whole life to doing so. So, weirdly enough, compassion is a weird one here. I think he can qualify, because compassion, obviously, the Lantern Corps compassion, it's one of the more parasitic rings. It will pretty much just rob you of a personality and kind of insert a new one there. You're still kind of there. You're neither up here nor down here on your empathy. You kind of just go right in the middle. That's why it looks for people who have no empathy, who have no compassion whatsoever. It often will target killers and things like that to kind of reform them. But unfortunately, that doesn't mean you can't get a lantern ring of compassion if you have a large amount of compassion, because it's still a lantern ring of compassion. It's still looking for either a lack thereof or an abundant source of it. And I think weirdly, he fits this weird gray area of that spectrum, because he, generally speaking, doesn't have empathy for anyone except for the people he has extreme empathy for. So weird. And empathy, compassion, empathy, roughly the same thing. He has very little compassion for anyone, not for anyone he's ever killed, but for a few people he actually does have an extreme amount of it. So weirdly enough, compassion, I think, might be the go-to here, because fear, eventually fear, people get over that shit, and I think that was kind of the case. Yeah, he was still scary in his time, but I think people just grew accustomed to it, so his level of being able to intimidate waned. And then Will is still on the table, but because of his nature, I think he'd lose a green ring if he got it. So I will actually go and say I think it would be the Lantern Corps of Compassion, the Indigo Lantern. But this is just my opinion. What do you think in the comments below? Let me know. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you